You know, I've been saying a lot of things on my channel often throughout the years, and a lot of people, there's still people in the comments section who want to argue with me, even though the evidence is right out there in front of you. And I've done lots of videos in the past showing you examples of the inflation that's happening all around you, all around us, all around me. I did that video not that long ago where I showed you I usually order paper towel rolls from Amazon, and I have a certain paper towel holder that I put those rolls onto. And recently I got my order of paper towels in from Amazon, and the center was a lot bigger this time, and so it no longer fits on the roll holder. I mean, it does, but it just doesn't spin. It's like there's too much room. Well, why did they increase the diameter of the inside roll? To save money, because inflation. It costs less money to produce the product. You get less product. They get the same amount of money or more, and the cycle continues. So what we're going to talk about today is another example, another fine example that you may not notice unless you're paying attention. And what they're counting on is that you will not pay attention. But before we get into this fine example that I'm going to present to you today, I want to share with you this comment. Check out this comment that was left in my last video. Comment is by 10 Toes Down. I'm going to have to disagree with you on the military being there forever, and also about the inflation. Who listens to what economist says? They have all been wrong so far. Time will tell who was right, but just listening to you leads me to believe you do not have as much knowledge about what is going on as I. Bold words. Let me present to you yet another example of the inflation that's happening all around you, but yet you fail to notice. This is the picture I took just the other day of a Subway sandwich coupon, because the Subway sandwich coupons come into it's the circular mail thing that they include with your newspaper on a weekly basis. $4.99, $5 for a 6-inch sub. Now, you probably all remember the $5 footlong that Subway offered years in the past. The last time, according to my internet research abilities, that Subway offered a $5 footlong was in 2020. 2020, they offered, for a limited time, 2 footlongs for $10. Now, if you do the math on that, that's a $5 footlong. 2 footlongs for $10. That was in 2020. And here today, just now, they're offering a $5 6-inch. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can do simple, just basic public school math. You don't even need to go to a private school or be homeschooled to solve this problem. $5 for a 6-inch, you have lost 50% of your buying power in just 5 years. 2020, 2025. 50% of your buying power goes bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye. If you don't think inflation is happening, you're ignorant. Ignorance can be fixed. Stupid is forever, which is why stupid should hurt, because we don't need stupid around. Guys, it's happening. And the reason I can say this with any sort of certainty is because I read history books. This has happened many, many times before. It was just the other day that we reached, the 54-year anniversary of August 15th, 1971, the day the dollar died. The day the dollar died. Now, inflation had already been happening. The value of your dollar had already been decreasing long before that time. But it really started to get into its death throes. You know, the time clock starts ticking on when that fiat dollar is going to fail. Because usually fiat dollars last for about 50, 60 years, once something like that. Once you take it completely off a monetary system, or monetary metal system. And that's what we did in 1971. So with that being said, well, now we have this issue of this increase in loss of buying power, and that slowly increases in velocity over time, and we are getting really close to the point. Like I said, there was a mainstream economist out the other day who says you're going to see in just a couple of years a bottle of Coke for $20. How can you say that's possible? Easy. They're out there telling you right now that they're going to cut interest rates. That's inflationary. They're out there right now telling you, well, we got these tariffs coming in. We're going to give you guys, a $600 check. Every taxpayer gets a $600 check. That increases the velocity of money and increases inflation. It's just elementary, my dear Watson. $5 6-inch from the $5 foot long is a 50% loss of buying power from your dollar. That's right there in 5 years. You just lost in 5 years the buying power you had left in 2020, another 50% cut. It's accelerating. This is accelerating. And if you can't see it, I can't help you. You're gonna have to go through the hurt like so many other people are going to. But if you prepare, you can do some things that get you ready and mentally ready and then physically ready for your family and for your homestead so that the storm is not so bad. Okay. It's going to be bad for everybody, but for those who prepare, it's not going to be as bad. I hope that all makes sense. All right. Now with all that rant out of the way, I think there's a number of other economic indicators, and I'll share one with you that I really enjoy real quick before we end this video. And that is Lucky Lopez is a channel that I've been following on YouTube for the last number of years. And he is a car dealer in Las Vegas. And if you haven't heard about some of the stuff going on in Las Vegas, the casinos and the resorts and places there are really, really struggling because of this inflation. They're keeping their prices up high. Someone made a video the other day of their hotel room in Vegas where they walked into their hotel room and there was a small fridge there and it had a sticker on the front of the refrigerator saying, "Warning, we have sensors here on this refrigerator. If you put something in it, we will begin charging you." And people in the resorts and places in Las Vegas are really struggling with trying to get people in, to the casinos and to the resorts and to all the things that they offer for fun there in Vegas, which is basically just Sin City. All that aside, they're having a hard time keeping people coming in. And it's because they're just offering all of these things, all these crazy things. Well, Lucky Lopez, his channel, you should be watching and following. He, being a car dealer in that city, is a great indicator. He's a great barometer on the economy overall in the country. And he's talking about things like a Mazda Miata.
I used to buy Miatas at the auction 6 years ago for like $1,000. Nobody wanted them. Where can you buy a $1,000 Miata now? Nowhere. These things look like they've been driven like crackheads, painted 3 colors, wrecked in every quarter panel. They still want $5-6 grand for them. And you know what? There's still people out there that will buy them every single day.
People aren't buying all these fancy cars. No one's buying the electric cars. They can't get rid of the electric chargers. No one wants an electric sounding motor. They all want real, actual gas motors. The Ford Lightning isn't selling. EVs are dead. EVs are dead. And so they're just not selling. And so all of these companies are going back on, and people in the meantime, the actual market is going back to older vehicles produced back in the 80s, 90s. There are so many companies now that are geared towards taking these 1980s vehicles, 1990s vehicles and refurbishing them and restoring them. And people are paying out the wazoo to buy them. Why? Because we are sick and tired of the electronic doodads in all of our devices. We're sick and tired of the electronic doodads in all of the appliances. We're sick and tired of all the electronic doodads in our vehicles. And it's like, why can't you just make something simple? Most people don't realize you can't make these things anymore legally because the government has gotten so involved in appliance manufacturing and automobile manufacturing, it's actually illegal to make these vehicles anymore. So you're going to have a lot of rollback on all these things. My point being is that all of these are indicators of an economy that's collapsing, an economy that is in its death throes of inflation, and that hyperinflation is coming quickly. The last point that I'm going to make is that if you had taken my advice, because I don't really push this so much anymore because I think I've kind of oversaturated my market, but if you had taken my advice years ago, back in 2021, when I said, hey, Genesis Gold Group, if you have an IRA, you might want to get that moved over into a gold IRA. Or ITM trading. Listen, if you have savings and you want to have something physical, you better call them and get something physical and develop a strategy that they can help you with. And those of you who did, because there was a lot of you, Because, I mean, I got a little kickback for people who signed up under those programs. If you did, you're sitting pretty. A lot. You have gained a lot of value. But if you didn't, if you said, I'm happy with my 401k where it is, I like it that it's in a paper stock market. Paper. And you ignored me, yeah, you lost a lot of opportunity, because you can still do that. You can still do all these things. I even have links in the description below. But you can still do these things. But you wouldn't have gained as much as you had gained if you had listened to me back in 2021. Huge. It was huge. Big. Giant. All right, that's my last point. All right, let's talk about this. Now, you may have noticed during this entire rant, I didn't have any commercials. I didn't have any YouTube ads pop up, because I hate it when creators put that stuff in the middle of the video. It ruins my concentration. I have to sit there and wait for it to hit the stupid skip button and hit skip. I hate that. So I don't do it to my audience. So I hope you appreciate that. What I do is I put in, I talk about some of the things that I offer at the end of my videos, and that being Patreon. So it is summer. We're in the death throes of summer right now. It's very hot, and so now's the time to be gathering all out of your herbs for tinctures. What you're looking at right now is a passion flower, a whole bunch of passion flowers, probably 2 dozen in there. 2 dozen passion flowers, and they're sitting in vodka, and it's got about, 3 more weeks to go, maybe 4 weeks left to go before I can use this. And the reason I'm making a passion flower tincture, among many others, because I want to have my own sleep aid. Does anybody out there within the sound of my voice have trouble sleeping? If you're like me, sometimes I do. So I like having a sleep aid, and passion flower is one of those ways that I do that. Now, there's a lot of different sleep aids you can buy. Like this is one here. It's called Sleepy Nights and Fresh Mornings. I enjoy that one. I've used that one. And there's other ones out there too. The number 1 ingredient on there listed is passion flower. Also, it includes skullcap and hops for that. And I have some other things I'm going to be putting into a tincture mix with this to kind of come up with my own, because why buy it when all that stuff just grows out there on your homestead? Okay. But see, you wouldn't know that unless you had taken my advice. Again, people who don't listen to me, take my advice, join my Patreon for as little as $1 a month, and get these books that I offer for download for $1. You can get that for $1 a month. There's 2 books. If you bought these on Amazon, you're going to be paying well over $1,000 for them, sometimes over $500. It just depends the market. I've seen these for as much as $2,400. Or $1,400, depending on what the prices, they fluctuate on Amazon. But everyone gets gets the download, the full download, for $1. Join my Patreon. I would give it away for free if I didn't have to pay for server space, but I gotta have to be able to way to store this stuff so that I can give it out to people. The passion flower is on page 186. 186 here. Here we go. 186 passion flower right there. And it comes with color photos so that you can identify all these plants that are out in your backyard or on your homestead. The passion flower, this is great for sciatica. So if you have sciatica issues, delirium tremors, or like people who are coming off of alcohol or addiction, dermatitis, and then the one that people use it mostly for is insomnia. So if you have insomnia issues, you have issues with lack of sleep or deep sleep, that REM sleep that allows your body to recuperate. You know, one of the reasons I believe we are so overweight in America today is because we stay up all night long doom scrolling and have that blue light going into our eyes, and we're not getting enough sleep today. Back in the 1970s, 1960s, 1980s, when the sun went down, you went down. Even your TV, like the last show that was on TV was like the Late Show with Johnny Carson or whatever, and then soon after that you may have had 1 or 2 more programs, but then the bars came up and you didn't have any TV until the next morning. There was no TV. The networks went down, and so you kind of turned your TV off and went to bed. But today there's people staying up till 1, 2 a.m. doom scrolling on your phones. You're not getting good sleep, and that's when your body burns most of its fat. That's when your body burns most of its energy. It stays healthy. It recuperates. And today we don't get enough sleep. So if you're having trouble with sleep, I try to go to bed early every night, and I try to take a sleep aid, a natural sleep aid. No pills, no drugs, just something natural that you can grow yourself. or that someone else has grown and tinctured, that's all great too. But why buy it when you can? I mean, buying it once is fine. See if it works. See how you do with it. But then go out and harvest it and make it yourself. It's free. It's free. And my books that I offer you guys, I try to give you guys for as little as $1 a month. You know, you download that and get all kinds of other great things that you can make on your own. You know, all kinds of stuff. So, you know, listen, if you join at higher levels, I appreciate your support in the homestead. So thank you on that. A lot of you guys do that, and I give you guys extra bonuses. I just sent out all the Clyde's garden planners for all my upper level patrons. It's in the mail. I figured out the postage stuff, so it's on your way. And I got some more coming out for people who want. I have a whole bunch left over of Clyde's garden planner. I'm going to open that up to the rest of the patrons. So if you join Patreon, you do get freebies from time to time, but I appreciate you supporting my channel. So, all right, we'll leave it at that. Let me know what your thoughts are below on this economy. And if you're seeing the inflation, if you have any other great examples like that Subway 6-inch, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. All right. Love you guys. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye. Have you ever gone to a health food store and seen all those small bottles of probiotics in your cooler section? Man, can they be pricey. Are you really getting all you need to improve your gut health from those expensive bottles? How viable are they? Most of those products claim to give you between 8 and 15 strains of gut-healthy healing bacteria. Think of each strain of bacteria as a different factory in your gut. Each factory is responsible for breaking down that food in its own way. The more factories you have, the more the food is broken down and the easier the food is absorbed and digested by the body. A 2018 study published by the National Library of Medicine shows that one fermented head of cabbage can produce up to 114 strains of beneficial bacteria. That's a lot more food factories than you're getting from that expensive pill bottle. And that's just cabbage. Imagine the probiotics when you add garlic, onions, pepper, and more to that ferment. PerfectPickler.com and its home fermentation kits provide you with everything you need to get started making your own gut-healthy food factories from the comfort of your own kitchen. PerfectPickler.com even provides a jam-packed recipe book with many of our kits. Visit PerfectPickler.com and start fermenting your own veggies to begin your journey to better gut health. That's PerfectPickler.com. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.